I started, the first works that I did that involved self-portraiture were done as photographs. And although they were successful, I was kind of, I guess I was very influenced by Jeff Wall's work, really. I mean, he was a teacher of mine, a friend, and his work is kind of influential. I suppose the light boxes really came after my work with film, so I was interested in this large, spectacular, somewhat spectacular format. I kind of wanted to move into out of the film kind of production mode and into still photography again, and it just seemed illogical to move into light boxes. I have to relinquish a certain kind of control, which I kind of like. First, set up the general parameters, which are in fact quite precise, of the set and the milieu, whatever, and then kind of subject myself to being directed. So there's a little bit of a surprise involved. But also, basically, it was a kind of a way of limiting or defining a certain limit in my practice. And of course, as I get older, it's like any actor, the roles become more maybe limited. You know, can't do the leading characters anymore. So the work in this exhibition represents a number of kind of characters that I've kind of wanted to enact. The Artist Bar is a piece that I've been thinking about for quite a while. It took kind of a long time to do it because I wanted to do all the paintings myself, and that was something that took, I don't know, half a year, I guess. Humor is a kind of entry point into my work. I always think the structure of the joke sometimes is I mean, interesting starting point for an image, like a visual joke, but I'm always concerned to move beyond that kind of surface and to provide a possibility of a more complex reading. But humor really provides, I think, a kind of an entry point into the work, of something that people can share immediately. There's one work in the show called Dinner Break, Salisbury Steak, which shows a drummer in which I play a drummer in the 60s, a nightclub drummer, perhaps he's like playing in a strip club or something, and is having a short dinner break at his drum kit, eating a kind of a classic diner meal of the 50s and 60s. The knife and fork being held in the same position, actually, that jazz musicians hold their sticks. It's called the American grip. It's a series of paintings I made only in the last 2 or 3 months, 4 months maybe. Scott from my studio had found a big pile of 1985 circus magazines that somebody had thrown out of their house. And so Circus Magazine's a rock magazine of this era, and at this particular time it focused on kind of hair metal bands of LA, Motley Crue, and etc. And I was just kind of interested in these slightly absurd male fantasy poses and absolutely ridiculous costumes. So I just started ripping these pages out and kind of collaging them onto a canvas surface and reworking them with spray paint and gesso, thinking a little bit about Rauschenberg's, the kind of transparency effect that he gets in some of the transfers works that he did. As far as collage goes in general, it's kind of my earliest work really was collage. There was I kind of see them in the tradition of kind of a lot of artists, my artist friends were doing collage, Ian and Jeff and people like Chris Dikiakos in Vancouver. There was very much a culture of exchanging collages, images of kind of informal collage practice. I think of it as kind of a West Coast thing and relating maybe to you know, a lot of LA art.